Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We're Baltimore Positive. I am learning quickly how much fun it would have been had I done a show with Mark Vivano every day in the afternoon. So jealous of the Bulldog at this point. We're out here at the Planet Fitness. We're in Timonium. I have a funny hat. I have scratch also in the Maryland Lottery. I'm wearing my Farnan and Dermer gear, and Zach is going to be coming out here. I might have him put him on a stair stepper back here, show him off in the Black Card Spa. Also, our friends at GBMC put us on the road to do this. We're right across the street from Costas at the racetrack, so if you do want a crab cake, you can go over there. Planet Fitness has been my sponsor since way back when it was just like a gym for $9.95 a month. Now they're just doing so many amazing things here. We're in Timonium. April is one of my all-time favorites because she gave me the New Year's hat, the Times Square New Year's Eve hat. And, you know, I said to Viviano, I'm like, dude, you live all the way down in Anne Arundel County, which might as well be like Annapolis, like where like Costello lives or whatever. Yeah. And I offered you to come up. I don't know why you chose Timonium, but like, you're like just such a nice guy. People they do know you're a nice guy, but when it's really confirmed when you're on my show what a nice man you are. But did you have some like business up here? Are you delivering things for your charity or no?
No, you asked, and I was just looking for a spot in the calendar that it was suitable. You know, I do have two kids and
little kids.
Well,
kids,
8 and 10, and there are obligations there relative to school pickup and that. My wife.
Who's a saint?
She's wonderful. God, she's the best.
Right.
You got a good wife. I have a great wife. It never stop appreciating the value of that in a man's life. Never.
Makes things easier.
Oh my God, it's the best. But anyway, the schedule allowed for it, and I come up to the city every Tuesday for the food mission that we do. It's out of St. Casimir in Canton.
That's right on the square, right? St. Casimir?
Yeah,
it
is. And there are any number of other things that I do in the city that, you know, to me it's still, just yesterday, I should say, Mike Pupo. I should mention Mike Pupo.
Mike, what's up?
Mike Pupo, 41 years, sports producer, WJZ, finally retired. 41 years on the job at WJZ, a time in which he had 4 sports directors. Just 4 in 41 years, which is unbelievable. And I'm blessed to have been one of them for 22 of those 41 years for him. John Buren was prior to me. Right now, it's Alex Glaze. And the very first one, how come I'm forgetting his name? Who was before Buren?
Oh, Klaus Wagner?
No,
Randy Blair?
Not Randy Blair.
Come on.
I'll think of it. Mike.
Nick Charles?
No, not Nick Charles.
Andrea Kirby?
Dude,
I've lived
here. Oh,
you're
getting all of them, but you're missing.
And I know it wasn't Jack Dawson or Vince
He went
Bagley.
to Philadelphia.
Oh, Lou Tilley.
Lou Tilley, thank you. Sorry about that, Lou. I just had it was Lou Tilley, John Buren, me,
Is there
Alex.
anybody else that you could sit with that would be able to give the whole
Oh, you're the
roster
best. See,
of being able to do that?
That's one thing that, Nestor, that's one thing that you are, is you're true blue Baltimore. You are one of those guys that just, you live it, you know it. Keith Mills is like that.
Oh, 100%.
Keith Mills,
Don't put me in his league. I'm not that good.
No.
I mean,
The point being, guys who are from, invested in, and knowledgeable of the area.
See, you were
untouched.
always an outsider in fighting against that with people like me in a really provincial town. I think Garceau had that going on. Hey, Marty was supposed to come over today. Marty, I love you. Mart's going to come on before he departs. But, you know, anybody that came here and, like, helicoptered in, my wife from Manchester, New Hampshire, anybody that helicopters in, Kevin Byrne, he would always say, what high school did you go to? Because he was from Cleveland, and Cleveland was wired that way. I mean, Schmuck came from Orange County, right?
Yeah.
Like, just all of these imported people would find this to be like a strange little weird Pleasantville, right?
It is,
like,
though.
it really is.
It is. It's wonderful. And for years, and you're right, Baltimore is provincial, but once you show that you want to be part of it, they'll take you in.
Yeah.
They're great. But for years I would say, no, I'm not from here. I'm from St. Louis, like the Orioles or Earl Weaver. Like, you know.
You were here the first time Josh Lewin came, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, and this is Josh, I'm throwing this out because I haven't had him on, and I can't really have him on because he works. Same reason I couldn't have Marty on. Same reason Mark couldn't come on back in the day. They work for a huge multi-billion-dollar corporation that was very intimidated by me and still is. So, they just couldn't come on. But for me, like Sandusky leaving at this point, you leaving, Marty leaving. This changing of the guard of running into people who don't know who Charlie Ekman was or whatever. Josh Lewin came the first time. He replaced Jeff Rimmer. I was cutting my teeth. I probably was pretty competitive with Josh Lewin in 1993, 94, 95. It is unbelievable to hear him on the radio now. And it feels like he belongs here to me, right? He's been everywhere. I used to see him in Detroit. We've become friends ever since. He was in Texas for a period of time calling games. Him calling the Oriole games to me, I hear him and Hollander in the car. Hollander, you're such a homer, but you know that. I just when I go out to the gym or I go out at night, my wife and I'll get in the car, listen to an inning or three. There is something about how Baltimore fits for people who want it to fit. Ron Cassidy says that being a Jersey guy. He's like, hey, man, if you show up in Baltimore and you show that you want to be here, you get welcomed in a way that I think you could have been a star in St. Louis, but there's part of it doing it here all of these years that you claim this is home. That's something I'll never have. I'll never go somewhere else. This is always home for me. And I don't know what that feels like.
Yeah.
It's got to be a little weirdly awkward, but then it becomes like, hey, you and Garceau and guys like that, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here I'm as Baltimore as Vince Bagley.
Yeah.
By the time that you sit here at Planet Fitness and people come in and visit with you.
The day that I stepped foot in this town was Preakness Saturday, 1994, when I was asked to come interview for the job
at BAL.
At BAL for the weekend job. The moment I walked, I stayed down at the Inner Harbor, and I walked outside. It was a postcard.
Where were you working at the time?
I was in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay, we went through this before.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to think of how big a job this is for a young kid from St. Louis.
But
I
saw
Hearst big.
Yeah.
That's a big. That's the break you've been waiting for.
Yeah,
right? Literally
in a big league town. Didn't have NFL at the time. That changed. But I walked outside and I just said, it just feels good here. It felt good. Like I had never been in Baltimore, but it felt right.
Oh, really?
And subsequent to that, my family, whenever they would visit from St. Louis, they were like, it feels like St. Louis here. Like I
love that.
There is one of those immeasurable feelings about the place that I can only describe as familiar, even though I'm not from here. And I've told people that many who were born here and live here who say you're not from here, and I can tell them this, and I mean this honestly. It's like, I'm not from here, but I chose to live here twice.
Right, you came back from Atlanta.
Twice.
Right?
I came back from Atlanta. So if you were born here, God bless you, it's on your birth certificate. I chose to come here, and I love it. And I've always felt, and I met my wife here.
Well, you live 4 blocks from the Inner Harbor. You turned me on to my dentist.
Dr. Lebo.
That repaired my wife chipped her tooth in Venice, Italy on the 5th night of a 13-day trip. She sent me a picture of the witchy poo. She chipped the corner of her front tooth. She had to file it with a nail file.
How'd she do that? Did she bite a clam?
I have no idea. She bit it.
Oh.
So he fixed it for her this week.
He's the best.
He is our dentist,
Yes.
Dr. Bill Lebo, down at the Inner Harbor, and you lived above him. I lived 4 blocks away. We were neighbors for. When did you leave the harbor? 2015, 16?
I got married in 13 and moved over to Canton, where my wife had a house.
Okay.
So I sold the place right there.
But you lived downtown 20 years, right?
Oh, yeah.
All of 20 years.
Oh, almost 25. If you count in Canton or just...
Well, 25. Yeah, you lived in the city.
Yeah, lived in the city. Absolutely. Loved it.
Mark Vivano is my dude. Did you ever meet Ted Turner? I wanted to ask you that about the Atlanta thing. I'm going to get all over the place.
It wasn't a one-on-one meeting. I would see him in the CNN Center. He would go down to the food courts. He'd go to Chick-fil-A. Like he had a residence in that building. But I would see him in a tuxedo coming home late at night from some fundraiser and stuff like that. But I never had a one-on-one with him, no.
I covered the 95 World Series, and when he died this week,
Yeah.
And he was always like a bit of an idol for me. I mean, swashbuckling.
Yep.
Sitting with Jane out in Montana, very liberal, trying to save the earth from this really, Waffle House Atlanta town. But this was when the chop was happening. It was '95. They're playing the Indians. I'm down in Fulton County. By the way, I think Pupo, I swear to God, gave me his media credential that night for Kevin Eck. I swear to God. I think, Pupo, if you did, let me know. But Kevin Eck was with me during that World Series, and they won the World Series that night, the Atlanta Braves. And I was down on the field when he had the trophy and all that. He's with Jane, had the, coat on, the whole deal. And I just, watched him do his media thing and just, so larger than life.
Yeah.
At that 1995.
Yeah.
If you had to explain to your 8 and 10-year-old kids about Ted Turner.
Different. They don't make them like
just
that.
Like the Rockefeller of our,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that larger than life. And I thought, you worked down there and you probably put a microphone in his face at one point or something.
Here's what I truly appreciate about the man. He started CNN Sports Illustrated knowing that the Olympics were coming to Atlanta in 1996. He signed on that network in 96 and wanted there to be a bigger sports presence than just Nick Charles and Fred Hickman.
And CNN had a real corner on that, right?
Yeah. And so it was a sports network, worked with great people.
Hannah Storm there at the time, right?
Worked with some great people and just loved it. I signed off that network in May of 2002. I did the last show, and they turned out the lights, and that was it. But here's the part that was painful about it, is that Ted, benevolent billionaire. This is the guy who said, I want there to be a sports network. If we're having an Olympics in this town, and I own CNN, that's what it is. Okay, so I get hired, and within months, AOL buys Time Warner. And all of a sudden, the benevolent billionaire has sold his controlling stake, but was still on the board. But AOL is posting its stock price at the elevators in the building. And Ted never did that. And the stock price was not doing well.
So when you went there, it was a bit of a big family shop.
Yeah.
Kind of the kind of changes we've seen with the Orioles and the Ravens and professional sports and just
then everything changed. And everything just felt, it was the guys who had worked there a long time, I relied on them for the true feeling of what it was because I had been there a short time. But it was a bummer. And Turner said so. Turner just didn't like, he sold, but he sure hated to see the way it went because it was still his baby, but so that was a bummer. And then, of course, they turned out the lights, and I was blessed to be welcomed back to Baltimore, which was a no-brainer when
You were there 6 years, Atlanta? 6?
No, 2.5.
Oh, that's all?
Just 2.5 years, yeah.
So you left when the Ravens won the Super Bowl, you were gone.
I was still down there, yeah.
I think you visited us maybe. You were in Tampa for the game, maybe?
No, I was not in Tampa.
I feel like I saw you somewhere, All-Star game,
you
Atlanta
probably
01,
saw,
maybe?
You might have seen me at a certain trial down in Atlanta.
Oh, the Ray Lewis thing was going on.
I was covering that for
you were doing local
CNN.
hits. Yeah. Well, Viv is here. Give everybody your real life. I mean, you're chasing Little League. We're not going to talk a lot of Orioles and Ravens because, you're not married to it in the way you once were doing sports radio every day or whatever. But, your real life and your exit from this. This was one of the really smart things I was going to ask you. So, Mark, if you had Jerry Sandusky here, what advice would you give Jerry? Because that would be the thing to say, he's following you out the door. Same thing, Marty. Marty's got, Marty and I are very close. You and I know each other. Marty and I are friends, real friends. And Marty and I have had a drink together recently. He was going to come by today. His wife, Alabama, grandkids, pulling him, all of that. He's a little further along, been there a lot longer, all of this. Survived through the era that you said, now I'm out. A lot of people. I don't know where the end of your era, the Anchorman,
right.
Cunningham, all of you, when I don't know what the new era will be. It's going to clearly be different,
Already is.
But the advice to give to people that have done, including me when my time comes, that I don't do this anymore every day. And I don't know what I would do with myself. You know what I mean? So
that's the key.
That's one of the reasons I do it. is because I love it.
You
I
love
love
it.
seeing you. I hit you once or twice. I mean, I get to see all my friends on the air. Sponsors still love me. People are kind to me. It's like what I want to do. But you stopped doing it because family, kids, these things that you had visions to do. Man, I hope you're having the greatest time. I hope Sandusky has the greatest time. I mean, I hope that for everybody that stops doing this thing that felt like I saw you with the little earpiece at 3 a.m. in Foxborough. You know, like I know it wasn't as glamorous as Mark's in your living room.
But it's still a passion. It's still something we love to do.
It's still a wild transition of life.
It is.
To go from that to whatever the next thing you're going to do.
Right. And I can tell you this, and I've shared this with any number of people who are approaching a decision in their life that they're going to stop doing the thing that they've done for a long time. Don't walk away from a job. Walk towards something more important. My family, I've told the story. I'm sitting in the press box at Oriole Park. Love being at the ball game. Love baseball. Love covering. Had done my live shot. I'm up in the press box, probably having an iced coffee, looking out at this beautiful warehouse, and like, this is what I wanted, and I'm so blessed to be here. And I get a text from my wife. It's a video of Michael getting his first hit in Little League. She's there, I'm not. And where I should have just been overjoyed to see my kid swing a bat and get a hit, it struck me, I'm not there.
You're at work.
I'm at work.
Right.
Love my work, grateful for my work, but and my wife is a saint. She's taking when you do the job that I did, Sandusky did, Cunningham did, you leave your house at 2 p.m. if not sooner, and you don't get home till past midnight.
And if the kids get home from school at 2 o'clock, when
you're
you
like,
seeing them?
that's
right,
it.
That's it.
That's it. So you see them for breakfast, you walk them to school. And
I don't think you or Marty could call Jay Newman and say, can we move the newscast to a more convenient time?
Can't. So blessed to, and my story is a little bit different in that I got married at age 49. So I'm the old dad. You know, I've got young kids while, you know.
He thought about this a while before he did it.
Well,
you know?
True. But when it hits you that.
Still doesn't make you any more prepared to do it or less. Still the time involved is the time involved.
That's right. And but when you're not there and you're not getting the time back, you don't get the time back to be with your kids. If you miss the time is gone. And there's going to be a time where they don't even want to be around you anymore.
Soon.
So exactly.
Sooner than you think.
So it was a no-brainer, and God bless WJZ. They offered me a new 3-year contract and all this. I'm like, no. The only job I ever wanted, the only job I ever did, it didn't mean to me what it needed to mean for me to be away from my family.
How long have you been gone? 2 years? 3 years? How long?
It was a year and a half now. So it was August of 24.
So these are the 18 months you got back that you would have been running around chasing Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh, Jesse Minter, on and on and on and on, right?
Got to do it. Glad I did it. More importantly, life is great.
Tell me about your kids, man. Tell me about Little League. Tell me about Coach Viv. What do you
It's crazy. It's fun. It's one of the travel teams for the Severna Park Greenhorns for my 10-year-old.
Don't be a crazy parent if you're Severna Park. Be nice to Viv.
The thing is, glad you said that. Great parents.
That's what you need to have.
Great parents. And to me, it's the goal is to help them learn the game, love the game, become good teammates, and play good baseball. And they're 10. We just had a tournament up in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Okay, so
I didn't get to go to Hershey when I was 10.
Me neither.
You know, not to play baseball.
Right.
You know?
So the day before the tournament starts, the families all go up there. The kids are having the time of their lives. They're on the roller coasters. They're eating the funnel cake.
They're high on chocolate.
Yeah, they're 10. They're 10. Then we're staying at this hotel we stay at has an indoor pool. It's got the breakfast buffet. It's like we haven't even touched a baseball field yet, and these kids are having the time of their lives. So that when we get to the baseball field, and we ran into some like these elite select Pennsylvania clubs that are just like, oh my goodness, these guys could be playing high school.
Ringers.
Well, it's okay. I mean, it's good for the kids to see. These kids are your age, and look how good they are. It's good. It's good for them to see that. But I say all this to say they're 10 years old, and they had the time of their lives. You know, yeah, we didn't win a lot of baseball games, but they played good. They tried hard, but they were together as buddies, 10-year-old buddies. doing the fun stuff, doing the goofy stuff, and that's a beautiful thing to see. My 8-year-old, he is he's this brilliant he's a deep thinker. He's like this little 8-year-old philosopher.
I need an intern. Is he
Oh,
ready?
he's
ready to go into the industry?
He's just all the two kids totally different. He likes to ride horses, like
Okay.
And if you told him,
I'm going to give you the acetique.
I was like,
Maryland
Christian,
treasures
you
here.
can't ride horses today,
This one right
but
there.
you got to clean the saddle and you got to brush the horse. He would do it all day. He just loves that. He's just like
So you could take him to the Preakness and he would think that's the best thing
Oh,
ever.
he would love it. And I got to share with you this. Again, this is a dad story. You asked me how life is. So what I do still, I've been out of the business for a year and a half. I still look at the clock certain times of the day to say, what would I be doing? So I'm at home one day. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. That's prime time crunching. You're either interviewing Orioles or you're getting ready for a live shot out in Owings Mills for the Ravens.
Putting your makeup on.
All that stuff. You're doing all that. You're typing your scripts. You're sending them in.
I was Garceau's producer or intern, so I remember.
Oh, so you know.
I know what the newsroom feels
There's
like.
all this stuff going.
That's what I loved about it. I loved that part of your job.
It was fun.
You know?
So
The urgency of
There's a
doing it,
rush,
you know?
and there's like this is what we're doing. It's 4:30, and I look at the clock, and I'm on the kitchen floor with my 8-year-old building one of those prefabricated cabinets. And he's into it, and I'm into it. And I'm like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Nice.
I love this.
Perfect.
I love this. I'm with my kids. And then after that, my 10-year-old goes, Dad, can we go play catch? Yes.
So it's 6:40 tonight when the Orioles are playing Major League Baseball on a 71-degree night in Severna Park. Your kids would way rather be having a catch with Dad than watching the Orioles play in empty Miami tonight or whatever, right? And this is the challenge where I'll bring you into the pro conversation because, by the way, Mark Vivano is here. We're at Planet Fitness. I'm wearing the funny hat. I'm doing the Maryland Lottery, Maryland Treasures. I'm giving Viv the horses. Although I should give you the boardwalk, and this is the Bay Bridge your kids are going to bug you to go over.
Oh, we do.
It's all brought to you by GBMC and our friends at Farnan and Dermer as well. You know, the pro sports thing, and I thought about this because this is a weird week, right? Because I'm feeling my age and my oats and my thoughts. And Luke and I don't get to have any fun anymore, right? I mean, Chad Steele and the Ravens, we don't go on trips together. You know what I mean?
Different.
If the Orioles are ever in a World Series, I'll be home watching it on TV. Tickets will be $1,200 to get in. Luke might have a press pass in left field. You know the drill, right?
Yeah.
So the last thing Sandusky said to me, the last time I talked to him, before I got thrown out, was in the press box. I think I told you this last time we were together. In Las Vegas, when we all had masks on, I was 21. You were still working, right?
Yeah,
were you out at that game?
No, it was not that game. No, it was not a Paramount game. So
Okay, fair enough. But it was ESPN Sunday night or Monday night. It was
a Monday
night game, right? And we flew out. It was 120 degrees outside in Vegas. I saw Kim Harry. He's trying to get me to clear to get in. Everybody in the press box had to have a mask, but everybody in the stadium didn't. So So I went up to Sandusky, and Femi was calling the game. There were only three of us there, me, Jameson, and Jeff Zreback were the only Baltimore media members there. Brand new stadium, the Allegiant cookies, all of that going on. And Sandusky looks at me over the buffet up at the top where they had the food out, and he's like, this is as much fun as it used to be, is it? Literally the last thing Jerry said to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jerry wants to come on now that he's retired. Jerry, I'd love to have you on Viv's here. But and Marty will be here at some point. Sooner or later, they all come to me and talk to me. But the notion that this was so much fun. Like if you have my notebooks from back in the day when you worked here the first time, the thing I kept in my ass pocket that was my calendar to put dates in. The day the Oriole calendar would come out, I would write the home games in green. The red was the away games. The Ravens, when they came to town, I got a purple pen, and I would put the Ravens games in. Oh, my God, they're playing in Green Bay. They're playing in St. Louis to start the season in '99. Scott Mitchell, all of these, they're all a memory for me. They're all a flight. They're now a backstage pass or a media pass or a parking this or a ticket stub or whatever. I don't know where that is over the hill for me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like in collecting those next memories. So last Friday, I get flippant with Luke on the air. I'm like, look, it's early in an Orioles season that, let's be honest, this might not go well. It might not end with us having to chase them around in Kansas City in playoff games. So I'm like, they're in Yankee Stadium. They're teetering right now. It's going to be 75 degrees at Yankee Stadium on Monday night. You and I can get on the mega, but we don't have to drive. It's $35. Going to cost the company $300 to put us up for the night. Come on, man. I'll buy a ticket. Let's go be boys. Let's go up to New York. Now, Luke's been doing this 17 years.
Yeah.
In the contest to do this, he's like, I don't really want to go. You know how Luke is, right? I don't really want to go. And I'm like, well, look, man, if they sweep the first 3 games, we're freaking going. I'm making you go.
Yeah.
If they can sweep the Yankees on Monday night, and of course, it's 6-0 in the second inning of the first night. I text Luke. I said to my wife, I'm like, I just wanted to go have fun. I just wanted to go buy a $12 ticket, and even on Monday.
Can you get one? $12?
No, it's $12 to get in Yankee Stadium
okay.
Monday. Now, it was $50 on Saturday because they gave the Mandalorian May the 4th be with you
gotcha.
giveaway, and that's this variety ticketing. And I didn't do it, and Springsteen played Tuesday night at the Islanders rink. Tickets went to $45 for Springsteen. I didn't. It was 80 degrees in New York. And at this point, all I want to do, I sound like a Sheryl Crow song, is have a little fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sports, you knew me at a time. Who had more fun than me? You had to work.
It has to be fun, though. I mean,
I had so much fun with sports. And I don't understand Katie Griggs and Sashi Brown and Chad Steele and these people that are involved. You were in Arlington the night that you were flipping with an F about what these teams represent and where the fun is. And for you, like, if fun is being on the floor at our age, building things with your kid, and fun around sports is coaching a little league team and teaching your kids ball, like, sports was so much fun for all of our lives. There is a point where, like, Jerry said that to me. The last time I saw you at a press event was probably in Arlington up on the roof when they were mistreating me and my employee and my company, and you witnessed it and you weren't happy with it. And you're out of it now. The first thing I said to you 20 minutes ago was like, I just hope you're having the greatest time of your life, because we had a really good time doing the work we've done the last 30 years.
And that's just the thing. I think your reminiscence of all those things, and you're still able to enjoy what you do. You meet people. You draw people in. You have conversations, meaningful conversations, that for me, I look back and I just feel so blessed that I got to do it, because that was the job I always dreamed of. I wanted to do it, and I got to do it for going back to, I got paid in college to do high school basketball games on a radio station up in Monroe City, Missouri. It's like, and I was, they may have given me gas money.
And you went to Iowa, right? You went to
My
Iowa?
first job was in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, covering Big Ten and,
Didn't you go to Montana or something?
No.
It was somebody else.
Pete Gilbert went to Montana.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was in Iowa, Dayton, Ohio, here, CNN back here.
Okay.
Yeah. That was mine. But
and if you could have drawn up your baseball card that way,
none.
You would have traded anything, right?
I would have. I had never been to or dreamed of working in any of the places I ever worked, and the only opportunity, of course, my dream was when my father was still alive, was to be on TV in St. Louis.
You wanted to be Joe Buck.
Well, I just wanted to be on TV in St. Louis, and my family's all in Missouri, and they offered me a job after I had just signed a contract. They didn't offer me a job. They offered me an interview at Channel 2 in St. Louis after I had signed a contract extension at BAL, and that station discontinued sports like a year later. Yeah, and there's been all sorts of rearranging. So
Man,
it was
your industry. It's like if I had stayed in the newspaper industry,
right?
Like my dear
Similar.
friend Dave Sheinin, who I had on recently.
Yeah.
I mean, the Washington Post is shut down at sports.
Yeah.
Like we're
New York Times. New York Times is
You
now
went through this talking about Ted Turner leaving. 25 years ago. That
turned
happened,
off
right?
the lights. Yeah, absolutely.
WNST will be a lot different when I'm not here. It's just the way it is, right?
Will there still be an NST when you're not here?
Well, ask Luke.
Well, I mean,
what won't be? and this speaks to a family bit, it won't be my kid doing this work, right?
Right.
So, and it won't be your two kids with a stick mic at Channel 13 25 years from now.
No.
In the same way that Mark grew up wanting to be that guy, right?
No, it's not. It's different, and that's good. Dude, in the end, we should just be happy for what we have been able to do and you're still doing. I have no misgivings about any of it.
What was the most fun you ever did as a sports, as a working WJZPA, whatever? Like, when people ask about the thing you did that was the most fun, what do you tell them?
Most fun? You know what? Fun. I'll go back. One of the most fulfilling and difficult things I ever did when I was working in Dayton, Ohio on Friday nights. High school football in Ohio is crazy. Dayton is near Cincinnati. You would go to these rural high schools where there'd be 10,000 people at these games, and there might have been 8,000 people that lived in the town.
In Lima or wherever.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Up around there. All those towns. We would do highlights of 12 games, all the scores, crews all over the place, and put together this epic show that people died for.
And it's videotape,
it's all videotape.
1989 or whatever.
It's not on your cell phone. There were no cell phones.
Right.
It's none of that. And people had to rush home from the game, and they did, so they could see their team's highlights. And to put that together was an epic production that required so much planning and cooperation and coordination. And at the end of it, we'd go across the street at this one restaurant that had chicken wings and beer. And
Perfect.
We were just like, we did it again. And it was fulfilling. It was meaningful.
Putting the newspaper out every night was the same way.
Same thing. So,
man, then the next day, my dad's reading it. Shit, man,
that's big.
My God, it's the greatest thing ever to put the paper out, literally.
So
right?
what has changed is that now with these phones, like when we broke the story of the or the Browns moving to Baltimore, if there had been one tweet, if there was Twitter, if I'd have put that out on Twitter, it'd have been gone. Nobody would have cared. Whoever broke the story, it would have been usurped and just repurposed. And it's like, yeah, hey, Browns are coming to Baltimore, whatever. It's just different. Where people get information, how people get information, the immediacy of the information. Newspapers, man, that's a tough gig, man. When everybody wants to know what happened in the last 5 minutes, not what happened last night.
I'm still a news hound, but, I mean, that's so 10, 15 years ago that the LA Times would break a story and within 5 minutes, whoever was reporting as Ken Rosenthal reported or whatever, they would just stop giving accreditation.
Yeah, it's gone.
Which in our industry was gospel, right?
Yeah.
Like, you would never claim someone else's story in the same way you wouldn't be a comedian stealing a joke.
Right.
My God, you would just be excommunicated.
Yeah, but you're right. You're right. There are so many different elements that are different, but I hearkened back to that Ohio time because it was the perfect size market where people wanted to see their own elevated in a broadcast. This wasn't the Bengals and the Browns or the Reds and the then Indians or Ohio State. This was local kids, and people cared. And the only place they were going to see it wasn't online, wasn't on their phone. It was if they ran home and turned on WDTN.
Yeah, and a monopoly.
And watched. Well, there were other stations trying to do the same thing. But, I mean, the fact is people.
If Channel 2 was covering your game that night, you went home and you saw the cameraman.
That was it. And people cared. And that's the thing. People cared. Now.
I'm from Dunn, though. You have to tell me. I mean, when your predecessors, Channel 13, your predecessors, when Bob Turk, Jerry Sanders, Al Sanders, Jerry Turner. When I was in middle school, 1979 or 80, they had a traveling basketball team. Klaus Wagner, those guys. Yeah. He collapsed it, or Randy Blair collapsed away, at one of those events, right? Yeah. They would come over and play the Holabird faculty basketball team. Mm-hmm. And Channel 13 coming to Dundalk to play a charity basketball game, and you would bring a camera, and you would shoot 8 seconds of B-roll of Bob Turk signing autographs in the lobby, and a couple of our teachers would make a jump shot. Everybody in the school was tuned in that night, And for a month leading up, and I can pull out my 8th grade yearbook. I swear to you, it's true. The Channel 13 came to my middle school and played against the Hollywood All-Stars.
And that mattered. And
it mattered a lot.
It mattered a lot. Now,
nobody was watching Channel 11 or 2 that night.
Right. Well, and think about this. And I say this to be, I'll include myself. If when I was still at WJZ 2 years ago, if we said we were going to Dundalk High School to play the faculty crickets, nobody would care. I don't think anybody would care. Now, Baltimore is a little different, and certain pockets of the area do have a connection, but the young people, they don't know, they don't care, and that's okay.
If you see Anchorman, there probably is a scene in Anchorman about the staff going out for the team softball game.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that was. When I get Marty on,
that was marketing. That was part of the marketing.
I'm going to ask if Marty ever did a celebrity basketball game at Channel 13. I promise you such a thing existed.
Yeah.
It was Bob Turk's Sunshine Club. It probably begat, all of your meteorology with the Orioles at 12 o'clock in the morning, right?
Right.
When they bring the field trips down or whatever. It's community outreach,
Yeah.
But all of our industries have changed. I don't know what the future is, Vic.
I don't. And what's funny now that I got kids, the parents say, "Oh, you were on TV, this and that." The kids, no clue.
Mr. Mark.
My favorite title is Michael's dad or Christian's dad.
What do they call you, Coach Viv, Mr.
Coach Mark? Coach Mark on the
right.
baseball field, but at school, I volunteer at the school on recess monitor, and the kids run up, they'll go,
Whoa. Recess monitor? What?
Yeah, you just like the teachers are.
Whoa. Are you the cop of the playground?
Yeah. Cop. I'm more like the referee.
Recess, what do you call yourself? Recess
monitor.
Monitor.
Yeah.
Monitor means you wear the orange badge and you're like the Bobby Brady of the operation,
I'm just there like the kids. If certain group of kids are playing basketball, they'll always split it up, boys against girls, and I make sure it's fair. Like I'll step in, I'll go, no, you that's a foul.
I like
you cannot,
this. I like this.
Or they'll come, two, third grade girls will run up to me. They'll say, Do you want to see? Can you help us find our invisible horse? I'm like, where is it? Well, it's invisible. You got to lead me to it. Like you just play with kids. Like kids are amazing. I'm fascinated. And then they run up to you and they'll go, "Hi, Michael's dad. Hi, Christian's dad." That's all I want to be.
Viviano had a press pass. Now he's looking for an invisible horse.
Invisible horse. Doing. It's true.
Your kids are like really at it. Like you could take them to Disney World. You could take them anywhere now, and like they've made it to that point, right? Like 6 and 4, little bit like maybe Ocean City. They you got to watch them in the water or whatever. They're like little humans now, right?
Yeah. We're going to we're trying to expand, and we've done a lot of Florida combined with spring training, which I don't do
So they've
anymore.
done like some cool.
They've done Florida.
Okay.
We do Ocean City every year.
Hershey, heard that.
We've done it last few years. We've done Seattle, San Juan Islands.
Okay.
Camelback Mountain out in Scottsdale.
What do they like to do? They walk in the woods with do a little hiking with you?
Hiking. And this year we're going out to Yosemite.
You got long legs, man. These kids got little legs.
Go.
You got to let them
Oh,
catch
they're
up.
good. They're gonna learn to move.
I see like Viv, like little kids like ducks behind you.
Here's the thing. All right. Humor me on this, and maybe some of your listeners.
Well, you're old as hell now. You have patience that you just would not. I mean, I was a parent at 16. Different gig, dude.
Oh, my gosh.
Totally different gig.
God bless you for making that work. The thing now with kids, again, being the older dad, and I don't want to sound like the old man, get off my lawn. Have you seen these electric bikes these kids have?
No.
You haven't seen them?
No.
Unbelievable. These kids they're like motorcycles.
For an 8-year-old?
Well,
not your 12, son.
None.
That was the gun rule in Dundalk. Not your 12. It's like Willy Wonka.
Pedal your bike. These are kids. They're everywhere now.
Well, I mean, I lived in the city. They would get on those damn the limes or whatever they were. Like, come on,
kids.
Man. Walk over to Little Italy, man.
Thank you.
You're 20 years old. Walk, man.
Just walk. But I'm talking about 8, 10. No, not 8-year-old. 10 and up. Middle schoolers. They're like
get a big wheel at least. Give something to move your legs.
They got these electric bikes, and they're going like 35, 40 miles an hour.
With a helmet?
No.
That's really dangerous,
well,
kids.
And I can't be mad at the kids. I got to go parents. What are we thinking? What are we doing here?